Imagine receiving a mysterious message, an invitation to an ultra-exclusive party in Dubai, all paid for, private jet waiting for you, 7-star hotel suite booked, luxury yacht ready to sail the crystal-clear waters of the Persian Gulf. Billionaire hosts, champagne at will, expensive gifts, and a promise. Unforgettable days of pure luxury. Models and influencers all over the world accept this kind of proposal, and it's not hard to see why. Who wouldn't be delighted with a chance like that? It's the kind of life everyone dreams of living, or at least posting on Instagram. Social media is full of photos of stunning young people toasting with golden goblets, posing with designer handbags in front of gleaming skyscrapers, or diving into pools overlooking the desert. It all sounds like a modern fairy tale. But is it? What these images don't show is behind the scenes, and it's there, away from the spotlight and well behind the silk curtains, that the real nightmare begins. Behind the luxury and ostentation lies a silent and dangerous underworld, a scene where money buys everything, even the silence of the victims, and with every toast, every glamorous click, a story of pain may be hidden. In today's Bello Mundo, you'll get to know the darker side of Dubai, a reality that no one talks about, but which needs to be revealed. Recently, we showed a brutal reality here on the channel. What happens at the North Korean Army's secret parties with the women taken there? A heavy video, difficult to watch, but necessary. If you've seen it, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't seen it yet, after this one, just search for the name. Forced to Serve. The reality of women in the North Korean Army that they don't want you to see. I guarantee it's worth watching, and I also guarantee you'll be shocked. But why remind us of this dark subject? Because despite everything you imagine about North Korea, there is another place in the world that, at first glance, seems the complete opposite. The ultimate symbol of wealth, ostentation, and extreme luxury, Dubai. Tall skyscrapers of glittering glass, golden supercars cruising along impeccable avenues, parties with famous DJs, champagne galore, influencers toasting in absurd penthouses or on yachts floating in the Persian Gulf. Everything seems perfect. It is. But just like in North Korea, behind the shiny facade lurks a dark universe, muffled by silence, confidentiality contracts, veiled threats, and lots of money. While one country hides its horrors under military uniforms, the other masks its own monsters with French perfume, designer clothes, and promises of a princess life. The problem is that when the spotlight goes down, cell phones are taken away and palace doors are locked. The reality is different, and that's exactly where our story begins. Number 1. Inside luxury parties. Not everything is what it seems. You know that old saying, not all that glitters is gold? Well, it's never made more sense than at these parties. These are ultra-exclusive events hosted by millionaires and oil tycoons, always filled with French champagne, jewelry, yachts, and supercars. But the real interest there isn't just luxury, there is a system. The organizers recruit what they call the perfect girls, beautiful young women popular on Instagram, models, or up-and-coming influencers. They are the living decoration of the parties. They serve to impress wealthy guests, attract investors, and give the host status. For many girls, it seems like the dream job: a free trip, a big paycheck, a 5-star hotel, designer clothes, all paid for. But according to several human rights organizations, what seems like a professional opportunity soon turns into a nightmare. What begins with an invitation to a VIP event, fashion show, or advertising campaign turns into something quite different. Many are taken to private parties, away from the spotlight and with no right to refuse. There, they are pressured to take part in embarrassing, abusive, and, in some cases, illegal situations. That's when the shine goes off. Luxury becomes a trap, and there's nowhere to run. Number 2. Money, pampering, and danger. You may be wondering, if the risk is so great, why do so many girls still accept this kind of invitation? The answer is short and to the point. Money. And not just any money. We're talking about offers of up to $100,000 for a single night. And that's just the main fee. In addition, they receive first-class tickets, accommodation in 5-star hotel suites, designer clothes, shoes worth thousands of dollars, imported watches, dinners in exclusive restaurants, and even cosmetic surgery as a bonus. It's a luxury combo that, for many, seems like a winning ticket. Some see it as an unmissable opportunity, a luxury business trip. Others see it as a shortcut to fame or a chance to get out of the financial crisis. There are also those who go out of curiosity or the influence of friends who have already had the experience. But the problem is that hardly anyone tells you about the dark side, because at the end of the day, this world of ostentation comes with a high price, and it's not financial. We're talking about humiliation, abuse, fear, and in many cases, the complete loss of autonomy. When the elevator stops on the top floor of the hotel or the yacht sets sail with the right guests on board, freedom of choice can disappear. And then the question changes. It's no longer why accept it, but rather, is it really worth what you lose? Number 3. Abuse behind closed doors. Models and influencers who have taken part in these trips have told disturbing stories. We're not talking about discomfort or regret. These are accounts of physical abuse, threats, and brutal humiliation. Many of these young women come back psychologically destroyed, but afraid to expose what happened. And the reason is simple. On the other side of the story are extremely wealthy, powerful, and well-connected men. A Russian lawyer who works for one of these rich men told the New York Post that there is a wave of silent scandals surrounding these parties. He reports that there are videos circulating on obscure forums showing girls being beaten, humiliated, having their hair forcibly cut, and going through situations that look like something from a horror movie. The hosts, often sheikhs or billionaires of different nationalities, act as if they are in a human amusement park where they can fulfill any wish, no matter how cruel or sick it may seem. The models, often isolated without passports or cell phones, are completely vulnerable. It's an invisible prison. You're in a palace surrounded by luxury, but without any freedom. And even when they return home, few have the courage to speak out. The fear of retaliation, public judgment, or ruining their careers is real. What happens in Dubai stays in Dubai until someone has the courage to expose it. Now take a deep breath, because what follows is even more grotesque. Number 4. Chemical toilet parties. If what you've heard so far sounds heavy, hold on tight, because what comes next goes beyond any imaginable limit. In Dubai's underworld, a grotesque expression has gained international fame, the so-called porta-potty parties. And yes, the name is as disgusting as the content behind it. There's nothing glamorous about these supposedly ultra-exclusive events. On the contrary, behind the doors of presidential suites, millionaires' yachts, and opulent mansions, women are subjected to acts of extreme humiliation. According to several anonymous reports by models and influencers, many of them already deleted from the internet due to fear or pressure, These parties involve degrading practices involving the use of feces, urine, and other situations as bizarre as they are repulsive. Here, women, many of them young and from countries in crisis, are lured in with promises of easy money, fake job contracts, and luxury travel. Once inside the game, what seemed like a networking event turns into a psychological and physical nightmare. One influencer even said in a video that went viral on TikTok that she received more than $200,000 to attend one of these parties. The demand: to eat a tycoon's feces in front of guests. The video generated an avalanche of searches for this type of content, and the story exploded on the networks, bringing to light a reality that many people would rather ignore. The investigation reached Vox News, which confirmed the existence of online communities dedicated to this type of content. These platforms function as dark markets, where millionaires offer real fortunes for women to accept these services. What's worse, many of these events are recorded. The victims don't always know. And the videos circulate among closed circles of billionaires. Can you believe that this happens in five-star hotels, places that appear on the hottest Instagrams? It sounds like something out of a horror movie, but the horror is real. And they wear designer suits, drive luxury cars, and hide behind the false glitter of ostentation. Number 5. Brutal reality. Sometimes a true story can shock even more than any rumor, and that's exactly what happened with the case of Maria Kovalchuk, a young Ukrainian model aged just 20, who dreamed of a career of luxury and fame. In March of 2015, she set sail for Dubai, believing that she was about to experience unforgettable days. And in a way, she did. Just not in the way she expected. Maria worked with OnlyFans and was influential on the networks. According to friends, she excitedly told them that she had been invited by two men who claimed to be modeling agents to a luxury party at a famous hotel in the city. She never imagined that this would be the beginning of a real horror movie. 2 days later, Maria didn't show up for the flight that was to take her to Thailand, and her family panicked. It was 10 days of anguish. Until, finally, she was found, dumped like a human rag by the side of a road on the outskirts of Dubai. She was covered in blood, with a fractured spine, multiple broken bones, and bruises all over her body. She could barely speak. She had to undergo 4 emergency surgeries to survive. What happened to Maria during those days is still unclear, but there are strong suspicions that she was a victim of sexual slavery. Reports from family members and parallel investigations suggest that the young woman was taken to one of these top-secret parties and possibly forced to take part in rituals similar to those described in the infamous porta potty. The level of brutality to which she was subjected shocked even the doctors who treated her. The Dubai police, for their part, presented a very strange version. They claimed that she had been injured when she fell from a construction site, a justification vehemently contested by her family. Faced with this lack of clarity, the Ukrainian authorities opened an investigation into human trafficking. The model survived and, according to doctors, she has a good chance of physical recovery. But the psychological scars, those may never fade. Number 6. Influencers, agents. After everything you've seen so far, one question may remain: how do these girls get to these parties? Who connects the influencers, models, and aspiring celebrities with the millionaires of Dubai? The answer is simple. There is a scam, and it's much more professional than it looks. Agents, and promoters act like real hunters of beautiful faces on the internet. They scour Instagram, TikTok, and OnlyFans for ambitious young women who ooze beauty, followers, and the desire to succeed in life. Sometimes the contact is disguised as an opportunity, a fashion shoot, an advertising campaign, an exclusive party. Other times it's direct, a DM on Instagram offering an all-expenses-paid trip, a generous fee, and luxury accommodation to accompany an Arab businessman on vacation. It seems like a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and that's where the danger lies. Several experts and human rights lawyers who work on sensitive cases involving the Middle East warn that many girls are deceived by this artificial glamour. The promise of visibility and quick money becomes bait, and behind it lies an almost mafia-like structure with recruiters spread around the world, fake modeling agencies, well-paid intermediaries, and contracts with fine print that nobody reads. Instagram acts as a showcase, the models are the bait, and it's the powerful sharks in Dubai who are ready to exploit every last penny of other people's vanity. And in the end, the bargaining chip is dignity. Number 7. No legal protection. To make matters worse, there is little or no legal support for women who become victims in these circumstances in Dubai. Reporting sexual abuse there can be a nightmare in itself. Historically, local laws were so strict that many victims who went to the police ended up being charged, meaning that the victim became the defendant. Despite some reforms announced in recent years, much remains in the legal shadows. If an influencer reports that she was raped by a married sheikh, she runs the risk of being charged for getting involved with an engaged man, a cruel and dangerous inversion of values. Out of fear, many prefer silence. The fear of reprisal, imprisonment, or losing their reputation outweighs any quest for justice. What's more, who are the accused? Millionaires, influential figures, people with the power to silence investigations with a phone call. Faced with this, what can a young foreigner do? Fighting against this system is like shouting in the desert. No one listens, and you might get caught. Meanwhile, the aggressors go unpunished, repeating the cycle. Justice, which should protect, becomes a threat, and the victims remain invisible, carrying alone a trauma that the world insists on ignoring. Number 8. Glamour versus reality. Scroll down the Instagram feed and everything looks perfect. Dubai is still the dream scenario. Gold Ferraris, parties at the top of skyscrapers, floating dinners on million-dollar yachts. Models smiling under artificial sunsets, influencers with glasses of champagne in infinity pools. But when the cell phone lens closes, what's left? The answer is tough. Behind the filter of wealth and beauty lurks a grotesque reality. The chemical toilet parties, the covert abuse, the cases of trafficking disguised as modeling. All this reveals that Dubai's ostentation can come at a very high cost. And we're not talking about money, but mental health, dignity, and even lives. Maria Kovalchuk is the real face behind this scenario. She believed in the dreams sold online and almost lost her life. Others may not have been as lucky. It's time to face the truth. Dubai is not all gold and lights. It's also silence, fear, and abuse masquerading as luxury. Is it worth the risk just to appear in a story with a view of the Burj Khalifa? The underworld of models in Dubai is not a legend. It's real. And while we're giving likes, there are people crying outside the frame of the perfect photo. So, what do you think of all this? Let us know in the comments if you were already aware of this unfortunate reality. If you liked this content, leave a like, share it with your friends who love history, and don't forget to subscribe to Bello Mundo to stay up to date with everything about cultures, destinations, and curiosities from a world full of surprises. Thank you very much for following along, and see you on our next adventure.